Today, we remember the powerful women whose brilliance built empires and whose vision changed the world. They were symbols of success, elegance, and strength. Yet behind the fortune and fame were stories of struggle, love, and humanity. Some lived long, graceful lives. Others left too soon. But each left a mark that will never fade. This video honors the famous female billionaires who are no longer with us. Women who proved that true wealth lies not just in riches, but in legacy. Elaine Wynn, the beloved American billionaire businesswoman and philanthropist, passed away on April 14, 2025, at the age of 82, following complications from heart failure. Known worldwide as the Queen of Las Vegas, she was one of the most powerful and compassionate women in modern business, a visionary who forever changed the skyline of the Las Vegas Strip. As the co-founder of Mirage Resorts and later Wynn Resorts, Elaine played a key role in building landmarks such as the Mirage, Bellagio, and Wynn Las Vegas, resorts that defined luxury, art, and imagination. She became the quiet force behind an empire that blended glamour with grace. Her leadership was calm, her presence dignified, and her influence undeniable in a world often ruled by men. But Elaine's story wasn't just about wealth or casinos. It was about humanity. She dedicated her fortune and energy to causes she truly believed in: children's education, women's rights, and the arts. She served on the Nevada State Board of Education, championed student programs through communities and schools, and helped lead the Los Angeles County Museum of Art. Her final dream project, the Las Vegas Museum of Art, was her heartfelt gift to the city she helped shape. Born Elaine Farrell Pascal in 1942 in New York City, she grew up in a modest Jewish home and moved to Miami Beach as a child. Bright, ambitious, and full of kindness, she graduated from George Washington University, where a blind date with Steve Wynn changed her life. Together they built an empire. But Elaine's real legacy was her empathy, her generosity, and her belief that true success comes from giving back. Elaine Wynn's passing leaves behind more than a fortune. It leaves behind a light that still shines across Las Vegas, in every dream she inspired and every life she touched. Wallis Annenberg, the beloved American billionaire philanthropist and businesswoman, passed away on July 28, 2025, at the age of 86, after a long and brave battle with lung cancer. Known for her warmth, kindness, and unshakable dedication to helping others, she became one of the most admired and generous women in America, a name that came to define compassion, culture, and community in Los Angeles and beyond. As the president and chairwoman of the Annenberg Foundation, Wallis helped transform philanthropy into a living force for change. Under her leadership, the foundation donated over $1 billion to causes close to her heart, from education and healthcare to the environment, animal welfare, and the arts. Her legacy shines through landmarks like the Wallis Annenberg Center for the Performing Arts, the Annenberg Pet Space, and the Wildlife Crossing, each one a symbol of her belief that love and generosity could make the world kinder. Born Wallis Huberta Annenberg on July 15, 1939, in Philadelphia, she was the daughter of publishing tycoon Walter Annenberg, the man behind TV Guide and 17 magazine. Though raised in privilege, her childhood wasn't easy. Her parents' separation and the tragic loss of her brother left deep emotional marks, shaping her into a woman who valued empathy over luxury. After attending Pine Manor College, she married neurosurgeon Seth Weingarten in 1960 and had 4 children, later choosing to raise them largely on her own after their divorce. In her younger years, Wallis worked at her father's media company, learning the power of communication and storytelling. But it was after inheriting leadership of the Annenberg Foundation that she truly came into her own. She poured her heart into giving, supporting artists, students, and scientists with equal care. Friends and colleagues often described her as humble, witty, and full of life. Even as her health declined, she continued to fund new projects, always thinking of others before herself. Judy Love, the beloved American businesswoman, philanthropist, and billionaire entrepreneur, passed away on November 5, 2024, in Oklahoma City at the age of 87. Though her death was due to natural causes, it marked the end of a life defined by vision, generosity, and relentless dedication. Judy was best known as the co-founder of Love's Travel Stops, a name that became synonymous with American road life. Together with her late husband, Tom Love, she turned a single abandoned gas station into a vast empire of more than 650 locations across 42 states. But beyond business, Judy's life was filled with compassion. Her financial brilliance built an empire, yet her true wealth was found in giving, supporting education, healthcare, and countless community causes. Born in 1937 in Chicago to Ed and Ruth M.C. Carthy, Judy moved with her family to Oklahoma City in 1942. She attended Bishop M.C. Guinness High School and later Oklahoma State University, where she met the love of her life, Tom Love. They married in 1916 and, with just a $5,000 loan, leased their first service station in 1964. While Tom handled operations, Judy managed the books, balancing business with family life. Her sharp sense for finance guided Love's travel stops through decades of growth, eventually making the company one of America's largest family-owned businesses. In 1975, she briefly stepped away to follow another dream, earning degrees in interior design and founding her own firm. But her heart remained tied to community work. Her kindness was legendary. Judy co-founded the Tom and Judy Love Foundation in 2013 and the Love Family Affiliated Fund years earlier, supporting schools, hospitals, and programs for children experiencing homelessness. Her efforts earned her induction into the Oklahoma Hall of Fame in 2010 and recognition as Oklahoma Mother of the Year in 2020. Friends and colleagues remembered her as a woman of warmth, faith, and humility, someone whose laughter filled every room and whose generosity changed countless lives. Though she is gone, Judy Love's spirit endures, in her children, her grandchildren, and in the enduring kindness she left behind for the world to remember. Anna Shay, the beloved American businesswoman, heiress, and reality television star, passed away on June 1, 2023, in Los Angeles, California, at the age of 62, after suffering a sudden stroke. Her death came as a heartbreaking shock to her family, friends, and millions of fans around the world who had come to know her as the graceful, witty, and mysterious soul of Netflix's Bling empire. Born on January 30, 1961, in Tokyo, Japan, Anna was the daughter of Edward Shay, the American founder of the global defense and government services contractor Pacific Architects and Engineers, and Aio Izumi Shay, a Japanese-Russian businesswoman from aristocratic lineage. From the beginning, Anna's life was one of extraordinary privilege, but also deep humility. She grew up surrounded by luxury and global influence, yet those who knew her best described her as gentle, thoughtful, and full of humor. After her family moved to Los Angeles in 1968, Anna attended the prestigious Buckley School and later the University of Southern California. Despite being born into immense wealth, her parents insisted she live with grace and discretion. Her father never wanted her to work, but Anna quietly found purpose through philanthropy, serving on boards such as the George Lopez Foundation to support organ donation and kidney disease awareness, and working with the Edward A. and Aio Shay Family Foundation, which promoted education and the arts. After the death of her father in 1995, Anna and her brother Alan inherited the family's company and sold it to Lockheed Martin in 2006 for $1.2 billion, securing her place among America's wealthiest women. Yet, it wasn't her fortune that made her famous. It was her warmth, honesty, and effortless glamour. When she joined Bling Empire in 2021, Anna instantly became the heart of the show, a fan favorite who embodied elegance, mischief, and compassion. Viewers adored her sense of humor, her unpredictable charm, and her ability to bring calm amid chaos. Her famous line, "I'm fixing my closet," while smashing a wall in a red gown, captured her perfectly, fearless and free-spirited. Off-camera, Anna remained deeply private, devoted to her only son, Kenny Kemp, and her granddaughter. She had been married and divorced 4 times, always parting on good terms, saying each relationship brought adventure and lessons. Despite her lavish Beverly Hills lifestyle, complete with priceless jewelry and fine art, she never flaunted her wealth. She lived with quiet sophistication. Her co-stars described her as the Queen of Calm, and her producer, Jeff Jenkins, called her participation in Bling Empire a personal gift. Jocelyn Wildenstein, the beloved Swiss-born American socialite and billionaire businesswoman, passed away on December 31, 2024, in Paris, France, at the age of 84, from a pulmonary embolism caused by a sudden blood clot while she slept beside her fiancé, fashion designer Lloyd Klein. Her passing left behind a legacy unlike any other, one marked by beauty, mystery, controversy, and resilience. Known across the world as the Catwoman of New York, Jocelyn became one of the most talked about figures in the world of wealth and fame. Though often remembered for her striking appearance and lavish lifestyle, she was far more than the headlines. She was witty, strong, and deeply loyal to those she loved. Born Jocelyn Alice Perisset on September 7, 1940, in Lausanne, Switzerland, she grew up surrounded by the peace of the Swiss mountains and lakes. Her early life was modest. Her father worked in a hardware store. Yet Jocelyn's curiosity and charm drew people to her. In her 20s, she moved to Paris and became part of the city's artistic and fashionable elite. Adventurous and fearless, she learned to fly planes, hunt big game, and eventually traveled to Africa, where she met billionaire art dealer Alec Wildenstein during a hunting trip in Kenya. Their connection was instant, and in 1978, they married, beginning a life of immense luxury. Together, Jocelyn and Alec lived in extraordinary wealth, collecting fine art, racing horses, and raising 2 children while maintaining homes in Paris, New York, and Kenya. But their marriage, once filled with glamour and excitement, ended in a very public and painful divorce in 1997 after she caught Alec with another woman. The split became one of the most expensive divorces in history, with Jocelyn receiving a record-breaking settlement worth billions. During this time, she became a media fascination for her love of cosmetic procedures, which she said were inspired by her fondness for cats, elegant, graceful creatures she adored. Though criticized, she never apologized for her choices, saying, "I am who I am, and I like what I see." After Alec's death in 2008, Jocelyn faced financial struggles and later filed for bankruptcy in 2018, revealing that she had lost access to much of her wealth. Yet she remained dignified, re-emerging in later years with her fiancé, Lloyd Klein, and continuing to live with the same flair that once made her a symbol of opulence. Despite the gossip and the headlines, those close to her described her as gentle, loyal, and full of life, a woman who loved art, fashion, and adventure. Jocelyn Wildenstein's passing closed the story of a woman who lived without fear or apology, a life that combined beauty, tragedy, and courage in equal measure. Christophe de Menil, the renowned American costume designer, philanthropist, and heiress to the Schlumberger oil fortune, passed away on August 5, 2025, at the age of 92, after a long battle with arthritis that left her bedridden in her final years. Known not only for her immense wealth, but also for her deep devotion to art and creativity, she was a driving force in the worlds of fashion, theater, and fine art. For 2 decades, she worked as the costume designer for experimental theater director Robert Wilson, creating visually striking works now preserved in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. Beyond design, Christophe was a true patron of the arts, supporting legendary names such as Willem de Kooning, Frank Gehry, and Twyla Tharp, and influencing the avant-garde scene in New York with her bold vision and generosity. Born Marie Christophe de Menil on February 5, 1933, in Paris, she was the eldest daughter of John and Dominique de Menil, the celebrated art collectors who later founded the Menil Collection Museum in Houston, Texas. Her early life was marked by war and displacement, as her family fled Nazi-occupied France and eventually settled in the United States. Growing up surrounded by creativity and intellect, Christophe inherited her parents' passion for art, culture, and spirituality. She made her social debut in 1952 wearing an extravagant gown designed by Charles James and quickly became known for her daring individuality. In 1959, she married Robert Thurman, with whom she had a daughter, Taya. But the marriage ended when Thurman left to pursue a monastic life. She later married Chilean artist Enrique Castro Cid, another union that ended in divorce. Throughout her life, Christophe de Menil lived as a bridge between wealth and artistry. She financed daring projects, collected masterpieces by Magritte and Barnett Newman, and transformed her own homes into works of art, even commissioning Frank Gehry to design her mansion in the Hamptons. despite personal losses, including the tragic overdose of her beloved grandson, artist Snow. In 2009, she continued to support artists and cultural institutions until her final days. Her passing marked the end of an era for one of America's most artistic dynasties, a woman who used her fortune not for extravagance, but for beauty, innovation, and the preservation of art soul. Dame Stephanie Steve Shirley, the beloved British businesswoman, philanthropist, and pioneering computer entrepreneur, passed away on August 9, 2025, at the age of 91, after a short illness. Her death was deeply felt across the business and technology world, where she was admired not only for her brilliance, but for the quiet grace and humor that defined her life. Known as one of the first self-made female billionaires in Britain, she became a household name through her groundbreaking work in technology and her tireless support of autism research. Often called the mother of modern computing, she built an empire in the 1960s when few women were even allowed in boardrooms. Her story inspired documentaries, speeches, and generations of women who saw in her not just success, but courage wrapped in kindness. Born Vera Buchtel in Dortmund, Germany, on September 16, 1933, she was sent to England at age 5 as a Kindertransport refugee escaping Nazi persecution. Growing up separated from her parents left her with a quiet determination to make her life worth saving. Gifted in mathematics, she began her career as a programmer at the Post Office Research Station. In 1962, she founded Freelance Programmers, later known as F International, employing women who worked from home while raising families, signing her business letters as Steve to be taken seriously by male executives. She turned a small startup into a multi-million-dollar company that helped shape the future of software. Behind her professional brilliance was deep compassion. After losing her autistic son, Giles, she devoted most of her fortune to autism care and research, founding the Priors Court Foundation and Autism at Kingwood. She gave away over £70 million in her lifetime, believing wealth should always serve others.